It's another beautiful Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the lovely ladies with me. Hi, ladies.
Good morning, Mariah.
Why in the building?
Show.
I'm making it a normal Tuesday. Why you have to see on a Monday? Let's give us one Monday now before the end of the year.
That's so funny.
Cosmopolitan.
Don't mind her. She's looking for my words. She's looking for my words.
How you doing, Mikey?
Well, we are struggling to let our feet touch the
Oh,
ground.
Jesus Christ. After Holari begged you not to mention it on TV. Okay, so anyway, how was your weekend?
My weekend, we had my New Era Old Girls thing. It was the whole week, and then Sunday was the grand finale. I got to see teachers. One teacher, Zudeke, that teacher, she gave me stress.
And she's still alive.
She's very bubbly like this. See her dancing. I was just looking at her like this. She must be in her 70s.
Wow.
You know, Gucci, ransom Gucci, come here. Why are you wearing sweater? Why are you always wearing sweater? I had to remind her. Do you remember I used to say it's because of me you turned out like this?
Oh, well, they always like to take credit. They like to take credit. That's true. I'm sure you had fun seeing all your old girls.
Oh my goodness, seeing people that I hadn't seen
Years.
40 years.
Imagine that.
40 years. You will not even record. You will say, okay,
Who are you
remind me. They will say the name. It's you. We will now hug. Oh my goodness, it was just so.
Yeah, it's good to catch up with
very
old friends.
nostalgic. Went down memory lane. It was really nice.
How you doing? Hey, our guest co-host in the building. I already choose the way I can forget to say hello to you. We have Temitope George. She's a legal practitioner and a certified etiquette educator. What the world does that mean?
Good morning. I love the way you say that. Certified etiquette educator.
Yes, now. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
So what do you do exactly?
Well, it means that I'm very particular about how things are done.
Right.
And I like things to be done properly. Yes.
So
and
do you get paid for that?
Oh, yes, I do.
Somebody
yes,
just
I
teaches
do.
you. Somebody pay you to teach them what to do.
No, well, so it covers a lot of things. So
Right.
it covers things like executive presence, and I actually had a session with some PR experts on Saturday. So it was a busy weekend for me.
Interesting.
So we have lawyer versus lawyer here today. I hope we have legal topic today.
You don't have legal topic. But it's interesting that, I mean, I'm really proud that there are lots of these new jobs coming out.
Yes.
People just create. You can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I am a thinking practitioner. I'm wondering what the heck. You can come up with something and somebody will pay you for it. But it's great that, you know, these things are really clever because people need these things.
People
actually
need it, and people realize that, you know, so you may have all the knowledge, but you may not know how to actually
package it.
project,
Oh.
package it. Thank you.
I need packaging in my
so
life.
I help with
God
packaging.
knows I need packaging.
That's
I am
it,
packageless.
packaging.
How are you doing, darling?
Very fine. So it's this week,
How are you
What's
doing
this week?
today?
siblings fair.
Oh, with Wura.
With Wura, it's happening
She
this
has
week.
followed it very well.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Adeyemi Bero Hall.
There's only
When is
Nima
the
that can
drinking
pull off.
thing? When is the drinking thing?
This weekend.
Okay, I don't know.
Why
The one that I know is no one to
Why
hear.
this weekend?
This one that is at your backyard here at Adeyemi Bero, you better be there.
Anyways.
Yes, ma.
All our
Nima,
small
Attention.
You know what?
fair.
Our auditor will start charging you now for all this your publicity that you're doing.
No,
we hear
something
Wura
that I'm
laugh.
hosting, I'm planning. I'm talking about my own work. Something that I'm hosting and
I
planning.
thought that she was
Auditor
even
should
going to
come.
greet somebody because she's always greeting. Hey, let me greet
come.
somebody.
Yes,
Who would I have greeted?
Let me
They
greet
are
somebody.
finished.
It's
Let us
Special
go and
shout out to my sister-in-law from Lokoja Goldfish. If you see those Lokoja catfish, man, they bought it in a carton.
Please, let's go on a break.
Come and
It's
chop
Tuesday.
asari in my house.
It's still Tuesday, I beg, calm down. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Okay, producer was saying about us Nima Kokeja well. So you better be ready to deliver the fish. Moving on to the punch. Let's go. Buhari faults Oshomole, says aggrieved members can sue APC. Robbers invade Calabar Varsity Teaching Hospital, steals babies and cash. 13 convicted for withdrawing girls from school. Human interest here, estate agent accused of raping American lured to Nigeria. We have no preferred candidate in 2019, says British government. Nigeria could lose $6 billion to Malibu scam, says Global Witness. Yellow fever hits 7 states. 1,640 cases reported to federal government. PDP urges National Assembly to investigate killing of soldiers. President okay salary increase for policemen. Excuse me. Let's start with this human interest. There
Calabar
are two of them.
story.
The
Yes.
Calabar story. What happened there, YK?
They were just in the hospital when these about 10 robbers came in. They didn't cover their faces. They had machetes and they had guns, and they beat some of the nurses on duty. Then they went to the different.
Nursery.
They took 3 newborn babies.
Babies.
3 babies.
YK.
Ah, Father have mercy.
Rambo style, 10 minutes, 10 member gang. Do all that in 10 minutes and walk out.
The journalist that went there saw one of the nursing mothers crying. The nurse was consoling her, and I'm like putting my mind in her. Still somebody's
After
newborn
9 months, you carry a baby.
The
See,
police, the
I
commissioner
shouldn't be
for
hearing this kind
police.
of story, sir. Please,
Wait
God.
now, Morayo, commissioner for police in Cross River State, the PRO for police are saying it's not been reported, it's not official, we don't have this report.
It's a crime.
Somebody
yet
should
points already
investigate.
have
If you go to the hospital, you will certainly meet a mother whose baby has been stolen.
They didn't cover
Grieving.
their faces. So obviously,
Yes,
they
now.
if there was CCTV camera, they would have identified them.
Yes, but this hospital has
No
been
security.
Everything has been breached. Their what they call them, their own security. These people they usually use within the hospital have already withdrawn their services because of money. They are stealing their generators, stealing their everything. There has already been compromised.
Our hearts definitely go out to the families. I mean, I said, this is not the kind of story I want to hear right now. Yellow fever, do you have that story? I know you read that.
I read.
Oh, you have that? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, yellow fever now has broken out in Nigeria, according to the head of our infectious crimes diseases. How many states? About 6 states, including my state, of course. They have 1,000+ cases of yellow fever in Nigeria. And the problem is that although we have laboratories to test for yellow fever, we have to send our samples to Dakar, Senegal for confirmation at the WHO clinic there. So he was, of course, complaining about that we have to send our samples out for confirmation, but the health system is not up to par.
All right.
What we should be doing.
Moving on now to The Nation. APC members free to seek legal redress, says Buhari. Better pay pension coming for police. Nigeria risks losing $6 billion to bad oil deals, experts warn. Change of guards in Osun as Oyetola takes over today. INEC witnessed the tribunal, Ekiti poll free and fair. 10 Fed killed in court clash. So the major headline here, our president is asking that those who are aggrieved from the APC primaries can actually seek redress in court. And the reason why he was saying that was because there was I think it was a declaration by the APC chairman, Oshomole, saying that nobody's allowed
They
to...
said they'll be penalized. They
they'll
said
be
anyone
penalized.
that tries to sue the party will be penalized.
Imagine that.
Yes, and it's very interesting. I'm quite pleased that the president said that.
President, the
because
way he can't...
it's constitutional to even say they can't sue. It's
Can I ask you a
unconstitutional to
question?
say that. Yes.
Please,
Yes.
which kind of party is it that both of the chairman, president, they are saying 2 different things? I've never seen this kind of thing before. They are knocking their heads together. I can't understand. As a lawyer, please, can you tell me why?
Okay, please, let's move into the next paper.
Let's not move into that,
Yes.
but I think the president's standpoint on it is accurate. You can't tell someone that they can't seek redress from court.
I think
if
President
someone is aggrieved,
also
they
made
need
it,
to, they can seek
also made
redress.
it clear that, listen, he can't get involved in APC matter because that's
Yes.
APC, that's Oshomale's business. But the truth is that nobody should be denied as a citizen of the country
Absolutely.
to go to court if they have to. Moving on now to Daily Sun, 2019, no support for Buhari. Atiku says UK. British government vows to remain neutral. President approves salary increase for police. Wow, so close to elections. I didn't say I'll probe file, she says file me. Party primaries, President faults Oshomale, says aggrieved APC members to go to court. UR International School reopens, bars parents and journalists. Anambra said to stop Osu cast by December 28th. Lots of stories.
So the
Which one are we
Osu
going
cast-
with?
The traditional Osuka system in Anambra State has there's been an advocate by a Reverend Father to stop this tradition, and they've set a date, December 28th, for it. And all the traditional rulers are in agreement and consensus on this date to stop this caste system. Now, Moria was asking what the Osuka system is. It's a discriminatory caste system where a section of people, maybe according to what happened in the past, are
yes.
now, outcasted, and they continue to be outcasted all the way to their unborn generation. But this has to stop because, of course,
Simply. And also
crime
the
has fast.
Igbos in the diaspora also got involved, and they're all part of the campaign. So hopefully by December 28th, it stops. So everybody is fully integrated,
yes.
and you're recognized as a human being.
It's
Can
great.
you, are you sure that they will stop?
That's the thing,
Because
so that
I-
there'll be
I-
consequences if you don't. There'll be really, really grave consequences if you don't. So that's why they put a date, so everybody knows and prepare their minds towards that date.
Already, there's a human rights consequence involved. So I hope that people start to.
So the police finally getting some money, salary increase. Who has that story?
Mr. President has approved the rank scale salary increase for police officers, and we are commending this and hoping that this would, of course, include reforming of their character. We are hoping that this new salary is motivation enough for them to stop certain practices and motivate them to do the right thing within the police service.
Hopefully, I just wish it wasn't so close to the elections. Yes. Like you okay, let's.
The police, they're only 300,000. So only 300,000 votes.
And some states are actually complaining that they respect the military more than the police. So the police actually need to do more to show that presence actually carries weight in the states.
In fact, the trust of the people, they need to earn the trust
they
of
need
the
to earn
people.
that trust. Okay, moving on very quickly to New Telegraph. Buhari overrules Oshomole, says APC can't cage aggrieved members over court cases. Picture here, FG approves new salary structure for police. Policewoman civilian arrested for robbery and murder. Children of smokers risk low sperm count. For real?
Wow.
Any smokers in the building? Carlos bail revocation, where Justice Idris got it wrong. Who has any story? Any story jumps at you?
I wish I saw the New
Say,
Telegraph.
tell your parents not to smoke. Nobody read the story.
No,
Mind
they
you, I
read
read
it
the
to Wake Up Nigeria.
Children of smokers risk low sperm count. So, hey, I have to tell my friends that their husbands smoke, so that their children will not have low sperm count. I have a few of those.
But some of them have children already.
The danger is
Some of them have children already.
The second-hand smokers, that the children will now have low sperm count. So the men are smoking, but not only that, their smoke is affecting their children's future.
But it affects all of us.
know.
Second-hand smoke affects all of us, though. So that's interesting. That's
Yeah,
an interesting
because
fact.
the rate at which we have children in Nigeria, I'm not sure it's affecting anybody.
No, okay, you won't know now.
Mariah already has
There are new
Please,
infertility.
stop
Several
putting my
cases.
matter outside.
The numbers
Moving on to Vanguard, please. Buhari Atiku tango over killing of soldiers in Borno. Cut costs, federal government urges states. Buhari okays new pay for police. We talked about that. Let's see. Is there another story I'm not saying? We have no preferred candidate, says British government. Lagos 2019, beware of traitors in your midst. Oba Akiolu wants Oniru. Wants Akiolu, actually. I never paid, let me take that again. I never said I'll probe Fayoshe, says Fayemi, and aggrieved party members can seek redress in court.
Two stories. So beware of psychophants. Oba Akiolu wants Sanwo-Olu.
Okay.
Yes.
And at this point, I'd like to say that because of what had happened in the past, I think it should be advised to stay off politics and let politicians play politics. He's the royal father. He should stay off these things and allow politicians play politics. This dirty game should not be brought to the traditional offices. Yes. Now, Fayemi is saying that I never said I'll probe Fayoshe, saying that it's normal to audit what the past governors have done in order to have proper records when you're taking over office, but the probe and all that should be left for the ICPC and the EFCC.
Not him.
The major headline, Buhari was saying that Atiku should not politicize or be insensitive towards the plight of, politicize the entire tragedy that happened. Atiku, on the other flip side, was now saying that how coincidental was that? The day that you flagged off the APC campaign, your APC campaign, that was when all the service chiefs gathered themselves at your event, when they were slaughtering their people all the way in Metele. And that was pretty,
you see, I hope they can remember that 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, they politicized the Boko Haram when they were running for office
at the time. Right.
So it's just
politicians will definitely use anything at this point to get. So anyway, I just hope, as I said, generally we don't even care. We don't want anybody politicizing this. Some people have died. Somebody, the investigation must be carried out. That's the most important thing here. Nigerian Tribune, very quickly, let's see if we can rush that. Buhari overrules APC leadership. Is there any story we've not taken here? At HID, Awolowo Foundation, Awoshika, Awolowo Dosumu, Danjuma, all call for female representation. Who has that story? Did you have that? And 60% of out-of-school children are girls, says presidency. Want to take that?
Yes. So the senior special assistant to the president on SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, said that 60% of 10.5 million children out of school are girls.
Oh my goodness.
That's an alarming statistic.
Right.
And it confirms what Malala Yousaf said earlier this year, was it last year, that she declared that we should declare a state of emergency in the education sector. But it's something that the government is looking into.
We have been declaring it
We've been
since
looking
for a long
into
time.
it, and well, we hope they look into it.
Let's go on
in
a
a very
break.
strong faction. Yes.
Really, really sad story concerning education. We have to have a focus. Is that education? Is that agriculture, technology? We got to pick one and just focus on it.
Absolutely.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, a lot of hot topics sizzling all over town. There's 83,000 here. There is the Eba issue here. And later we'll discuss this issue of beans. I know a lot of people have talked about it, but some people are still reluctant in buying beans. So we're going to discuss and we're going to bring a nutritionist on to tell us the safety of keeping and cooking beans. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the hot topic all over town, the Facebook user recently started a debate online when he asked a question. Your husband returns home after 12 midnight and you serve him a bowl of soup and he says, no, honey, I'd like to have some rice, please. Now, what would you do? Would you cook it or would you say, and that was one hot topic. You can join the conversation 070-806-6814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so you can read the tweets. As I said, there are lots of hot topics. There's another one that went to the restaurant with her boyfriend, ate 83,000 naira meal. And
Not
said,
her boyfriend, though.
or okay, a date.
Amaga.
No, it wasn't a maga. It was a date. And then she started texting everybody, please help me. I'm still at the restaurant. The guy had just left me with his 83,000 naira bill. But let's start with the Eba story. I mean, when we were having this conversation earlier, a lot of women are saying, lie, they can never cook rice at that time. And I'm thinking, really? What are your thoughts on this? Because I wanted to hear your own views on this.
Thoughts on it.
You want to hear mine?
Yes.
Wait, let me start with Waike, I'll come to you. Waike,
No, at my age, nobody can wake me up now.
just in case somebody wakes you up.
No, it's not possible. So I can't even think to that level because it's not possible.
But okay, if for whatever reason, all you have in the house is Eba, right, at night, and Oga comes home and says, rice with Eba is too solid.
Elizabeth no back pada
Let's
say.
kiss, let's kiss.
Elizabeth no back pada say.
We eat the eba,
You'll be all right.
Well, let me hear your thoughts
So
on this.
I find it Eba is not even healthy for a man at night. My husband would never ask for Eba at midnight.
Right.
It's not possible. And I wouldn't even think of giving him Eba in the first place. If he wanted rice, there'll be rice in the fridge.
People are not asking questions. They're not
There'll
asking
be
the question.
rice in the fridge. You can warm it up
Hypothetically
himself.
speaking, it just so happened that it was Eba. He was supposed to eat, and he came back. Maybe he was supposed to have the Eba, maybe 7 p.m. for whatever reason. And he came back home late,
Yeah.
and something he got stuck.
Oh,
and told me that he shows up.
loco.
And that one's that's like,
Olobe lo loko shoko yokota. It will shop rice.
oh, you cook the
You will
rice
cook the rice.
at midnight.
one.
Yes.
Nima, don't you think that's slavery?
a good wife.
Happened about
Don't you
2
think that's
years, 2
slavery?
years into my marriage. His friend arrived at 11:45 and I made rice.
And
I
you
woke
didn't
up and I made rice.
you didn't find it as a problem.
There was no problem.
Obviously,
She's a
you
good
didn't,
wife.
obviously, you didn't have to go to work the next day. Because if you
Obviously-
did have to go to work the next day,
Obviously, I had the job to go to the next day. And it's normal. It's just being the proper hostess. So you have a guest in your house. Should they go to bed hungry? If it's rice that they want, so rice will be ready. And if I had it frozen, better. But if it's not, rice will be ready. So all of us will gist till it's ready. It's gas now. It can't take more than how many minutes to be ready.
Oh,
I remember
my
my mom.
goodness.
My mom used to have all my uncles. They had. I think when I was about 9, they were up to 11 living in our house. All of them were well fed. All these my uncles, maybe they don't remember. Or thank God we're on TV now. They are watching. My mom would sacrifice her meal and make sure nobody in her house goes to bed.
but
hungry.
after all that, do you think she felt fulfilled as a person? Because sometimes you do all that work and it's almost as though you feel like a slave at the end of
She
the day.
never
You were
complained. I
used.
complained on her behalf.
Right.
Never.
You are
Don't say
the
anything
ideal
African
wife.
wife.
If I had a son, I would want them to marry someone like you.
Okay, I have my
You
own
know,
faults.
Mark would like you.
I have
Remember
my
Mark?
faults. Mark Abi.
Our Mark that came on
Mark cannot
Friday.
handle me.
You know, because
I have my
to
own
him,
friends,
that
but
is what a wife should do.
Food is a...
And I mean, this we shouldn't even ask ourselves. We should ask like Akin that is looking at us.
Okay, let's go to the other
second
story
topic.
of the other topic of the young lady who went on a date, right? And her date left her with an 83,000 naira bill and walked out.
What was she looking at that the bill reached that point in the first place?
Excuse me, I don't understand why people are blaming this girl.
Wait
He went on a
now.
date. Anybody can take me on a 100,000 naira date. If you take me to a nice, clean restaurant, by the time you order entree, you have your main course,
Yes.
you have your dessert, and you have a bottle of wine, you'll be hitting 100,000 naira.
That's how you people
Some people are now
react.
thinking as if, what are they eating to get the 100,000?
100,000 naira. Excuse me, first, she should have first looked at the man, you know.
Yes.
Does he look like someone that can afford 100,000?
Nigeria,
You see,
why can
let me tell you,
in this
a lot
season
of
of
our women,
packaging,
a
Nigeria,
lot of our women.
men package themselves. Oh.
Let me, even
And
if it was
is
packaged,
this what he
even-
packaged?
if
Is
it
it
was
everybody that have
packaged-
car that can drive? Is it everybody that have car that drives car that own the car?
Excuse me, let me-
If you packaging come.
Wait now.
Oh,
I want our co-host to talk, but let me just say this first.
you know she's posh.
See, a lot of girls, they like maga. They call them magas.
Maga.
This one, so she has probably, maybe she has even been doing it to the guy. So the guy just said, listen, this time I will show you. Then she will go. You know, she will go. She will, the things that she cannot buy with her own money.
Yes,
Okay,
on another
why
day.
I have a problem is that every situation we seem to always turn it to blame the lady.
Which
Why are
lady?
we not focusing on the issue? The issue that the man walked out.
no,
Why you must
So you
turn
want
and
your
blame the
husband to
girl?
go and eat 83,000
Okay, I will not.
Aha!
I took my husband out of a restaurant just by looking at the menu and looking at the price. Like, what are we buying here? What are they giving us?
I
Is
don't
it the restaurant?
understand.
Please, let's
what
go.
happens to being romantic? Okay, please don't bring the woman. The girl has no fault in this.
So I've actually experienced this before.
Right.
I actually went out on a date with a guy. I was working in telesales, and the guy was the head of the organization. And so we went out on a date, and you know they called him to say that he didn't make his what he was meant to make that day. So he now said and it was a Chinese restaurant. And so when they called him, you know, we're talking, and then then I was this, look, woman's lib. If you can pay, I can pay my way. And the guy just goes, well, then put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
And I was in shock. But thankfully, I had my card with me. I paid. But when we finished, and then he now wanted to, get fresh with me, I'm like, excuse me.
No,
Someone that couldn't. Because he who asks pays.
Right.
He asked me out, so he was meant to pay
Let me
for
take
it.
this call from Israel. Israel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, please.
Yes.
Which of the topics are you interested in?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to buttress a point here. When you are married, marriage is all about sacrifice. And you see,
Eba.
hello.
Yeah, we are hearing you very clearly.
Okay, marriage is all about sacrifice. My sister there, Yemi, she said that the husband cannot even think of it. Then the other lady with yellow, she said the husband cannot also as well think of it. You see, you as a woman, I believe that sacrifice goes a long way. For a marriage to work, you need to sacrifice your time, yourself to your husband or to your wife. Now, if a woman make a request to the husband, at any time, the man will be there for her. Most, just check it out. Most times, you see, men go extra mile to satisfy their wife.
That's true.
So
Thank you very
wife
much, Israel, for your contribution.
See them, they are
Yes,
grumbling.
sacrifice works both ways.
Exactly.
I like
It's
that.
not-
Both
The two-way
ways,
street.
both ways. So he can also be considerate and eat out before coming home at
Hallelujah,
midnight.
somebody. Thank you very much. So going back
My
to our...
husband just not it out too. Come home.
You see, let me state my point concerning this restaurant deal. I don't think we should suddenly blame the lady for that situation.
Yes.
She didn't put herself in that situation. She went out with a guy who she thought probably this guy can handle this bill.
Yeah.
And suddenly he left. So on no circumstance should you say it's her fault for eating that food. You took me on a date.
But she should have vex money.
that
She
you
should
cannot
have
eat in
vex
your
money.
house. You
The
say
woman, no,
your
but
name.
she should have vex money. What they call vex money.
Yes, exactly.
She should have vex money on her. Really.
She started to beg that, please help.
No.
Because
embarrassing.
the guy must have...
I'm disappointed in you.
No, do you remember one advert? There was this advert, this cable network. That advert is hilarious. And the two guys, they went. When they got there, the two women were saying, okay, I will have sure. And sure.
Sure.
So one of the guy just said, I'm coming, I'm going to the toilet.
I remember it.
The other one said, you want to leave me? This one I'm going. This one, both of them climbing out of the bathroom window. But, which kind of criminals did we take out to eat?
They have to
go to say, please give me escalope, kiniko.
We have to round up, I think. We need to round up and say, listen, as a young lady, be careful.
Yeah,
Go with your vex money.
Go with your vex money. What you can't afford to pay, don't order.
You might have said that when you enter the restaurant,
There's
look
a
at the
price
order.
on the menu.
Yes.
Open it before they serve you. Read it. If you can afford, sit down. If you not, go home. You'll be all right.
That's how we get
The better restaurant don't put price, so.
They put. All the
I'm telling you. In those high-class this thing in London.
Want to kill yourself.
Oh. Hey, when you see the bill, you will first swallow your spit. Now,
Let's go to break. When we come back, we talk about the issue with the beans, right? Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Those stories of how sellers have been preserving beans with Sniper went viral recently. And we all know that when we buy beans in the market, at least one weevil must follow us home. If not checked, the weevil will multiply into 1 million weevils and finish up the beans, leaving us with nothing. To enlighten us on how to preserve beans and how to properly cook beans is a consultant public health physician who is also the author of a book, Healthy Diet, Dr. Folu Olaton. Welcome to the show, madam.
Nice being here.
You can call us on 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Aside from this issue of the Sniper that went viral recently, I think there's generally an issue with beans because there's just so much problem with the fact that it doesn't digest quickly, it makes you fart, they tell you it's healthy, but yet you take so much of it and then it's just, you just feel bloated sometimes when you eat beans. So I need you to start from the beginning. Number one, when you consume beans, when you buy beans, how do you preserve it? And then how should they properly preserve beans even before it gets to you?
Okay, so let's start from the sellers.
Yeah.
When sellers get their beans in stock, they're supposed to preserve in airtight containers.
Okay.
So there are certain bags that have been created for such purposes.
Right.
They're supposed to get those bags and fill up the bags to the brim,
Right.
such that there's no space, there's no air,
Right.
and then they're sealed, and that way they can stay for a long time. They can also add black pepper, Cameroon pepper, or red pepper, dry pepper. They can tie those, the pepper in small bags and put inside the beans. As long as air, oxygen, is not getting into the beans will be preserved and the weevils will not be allowed to thrive. On a large scale, nitrogen can also be added in place of oxygen. Right. But that's supposed to be done by an expert. So the experts, under safe conditions, are supposed to remove the oxygen, remove the air, and replace with another gas, in which case the weevils will not be able to thrive, they will not be able to destroy. There are different methods of preserving beans on a large scale, industrial scale, but these are supposed to be done by experts. Even the problem with the Sniper and other chemicals is because many of these people use the chemicals indiscriminately. It's not as if chemicals can be used at all, but they're supposed to be used by experts. Right. Okay, so when the beans now get to the buyer, ideally, one should not buy a large quantity of beans at a time. Right. Just buy the small quantity that can take you for 1 or 2 weeks and store in the house. You're supposed to store in the house for a while. So in the same way that the sellers store in airtight containers, you can also store in airtight containers in your house. You can use bags, nylon bags, that can be sealed. And
like
add pepper in your house. You can also add pepper in the house.
What are those paint bucket containers?
It's better to actually use containers that have very little space, little opening so that the amount of air is limited. Like jerry cans, you can pour the beans in jerry cans and make sure that it's full and then cover it. You can also store in the freezer. You can pour the beans either in food nylons or jerry cans or small kegs and keep them in your deep freezer. But the thing is that you shouldn't buy too much at a time. And like you said earlier on, if you notice just one weevil, that's safer than you not noticing any at all. But how do you now control that one weevil such that it doesn't multiply and destroy the old beans? That would be removing air, adding pepper, store in airtight container and store in a cool place or in the freezer.
When I was a child, I didn't eat beans because of the kokoro inside. But they told me that that's why I'm not tall, because those kokoros are what makes you grow.
Oh, no. That's just a food fad. The issue is you need to ask yourself, where is the weevil getting the protein from? The weevil is getting the protein from the beans. So that means the beans itself has protein. Okay, then if you buy beans, it's actually important to test whether there's chemical on it.
How?
If you just look at the beans and it looks like there's powder, it's looking dull, or it smells somehow, maybe the smell is awful, you can suspect that there's chemical in it. So if outrightly you're not comfortable with the way it smells, the way it looks, don't eat the beans at all. Don't take the beans. And then if you want to test whether it actually has chemical, just pour inside a bowl, pour water and stir for about 2 seconds. The chemical will come floating on top. It will just look like an oil film on top of the water. And that way you know that you can't eat that beans.
Right.
But you see, whether there's chemical or not, a safe way to eat beans is actually to soak the beans for a while.
Somebody was telling us to soak overnight.
Yes, you can even soak it overnight. The challenge is that many people would not like the taste because it's not the usual taste they're used to. But if you really want to feel safe, because apart from chemicals, there's some substances in beans that actually discourage people from eating beans because those substances don't allow it to get digested fast. So if you soak it in water for some hours, let me tell you, some people even soak for 2 days. And that's where the beans sprouts and you are able to get the health benefits better.
Really?
Yeah, it does the same way you soak corn and process it into pap.
People
you can also germinate beans too.
People say make when you eat beans, is it because you didn't soak it? That's why you feel bloated?
See, it's true that it makes people bloated because there's a kind of carbohydrates in the skin of the beans that doesn't digest easily, or even when it gets digested, it releases gas, and it's that gas that makes one to feel bloated. But when you soak the beans, the gas is released into the water. That gas that is released into your body that makes you pass gas is released into into the water. Then you can pour the water away, soak with rinse with fresh water and now cook. Wow. But if you can't take the trouble of soaking for 2 days or waiting for several hours, you can soak with hot water and you can even add baking soda. You know, our grandmothers use baking soda for different things. We can go back to that. Just soak with baking soda, and instead of waiting for 1 day, the baking soda acts fast. Some of those chemicals react with the baking soda, and then they're not reacting in your body.
I need to go on a break. Let me just take one question from you.
So is it healthier to eat agoin beans since you're boiling it for a very long time?
For a very
is that healthier than the regular beans?
Well, I wouldn't say it's healthier, but you see, it's going to digest faster because it has cooked for a longer time. But as long as you soak the beans a bit before cooking and you take time to cook it well, because some people don't cook beans well, and that's why they don't like eating beans. Many people don't know how to cook beans. If you cook it very well, you love it. You will enjoy it, and it will get digested.
When we come back, we'll try to wrap this conversation up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Right, Nima had a question. Go ahead.
So I wanted to know, growing up as an Auchige, my grandpa used to send us different species of beans. There's this popular beans, all my people like to eat, and the taste is strange. It's called Elene, but I don't know the English name. It's kind of harder and you have to boil for close to 2 days to get it soft.
What?
But it's unique in its taste. Please explain to me, how many species of beans exactly do we have, aside the white and brown that we know?
Oh, there are several.
many do you have?
I can't give you the number. There are several species of beans. And one thing you need to know about food is that the different varieties have special nutrients, different nutrients. So that's what, when you see white beans, red beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, that means there's something specific about pinto beans that you may not be able to get from white beans. There's something great about kidney beans you may not be able to get from red beans. And that's why it's good to eat a wide variety of food, because those colors represent some kind of antioxidants.
Talking about species, I never know the difference between the one you use for memory and the one you regular, because I would just tell them, listen, I want to do memory tomorrow. Can I have beans? They don't give me. So how do you, for those of us that don't know?
It's not as if there's any particular beans that is better for memory. The idea is the peeling.
Oh,
you know, when you soak white beans, the skin comes off easily.
Oh,
yes.
so
So
that's
people will give you white beans or oloyin beans. It's also equally soft for meme because it's easy to peel it. And then,
so
of
the
course,
browner
it's also
ones,
cheaper.
Oh,
the white beans is cheaper.
Let me take
So
this
why
call.
not use that for meme, since you won't really feel the taste as much as if you have cooked
Let me
the
take
beans.
this call. Morning, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to say something about what the guest said. He said before you cook your beans, you have to soak for some days, a day, and preferably 2 days. And due to my little knowledge about this, I discovered that when you soak food in liquid substances, you denature it. And when you denature, the consequence of that food gets into the water. Now, if you soak beans for 2 days, some of the proteinous constituents go along with the water when you pour away. So are you telling me that if we now later cook that soaked beans, we are going to get the required constituents, the proteinous constituents
Very
that
good
we are
question.
supposed to get from it?
Very good question. Thank you very much.
Okay, so when you soak beans for 2 days, what you're doing is germinating the beans, and the oligosaccharide on the skin of the beans gets digested, and you still have access to the nutrients on the beans. So you're not losing the nutrients, you're just making the beans to be in such a way that will be easier for the
It doesn't have to be 2 days. It can be a few hours. It can be a few hours.
What about
if
this
you're doing
method?
2 hours, you can be with warm water, hot water,
Right.
and
Okay.
you can even add baking soda. That's not to say that you can't eat your beans outrightly
Zara the King.
by just cooking and eating outrightly. The other thing is that you need to study your digestive system, study your body, and know the kind of beans that you are able to tolerate very well. Some people can't tolerate kidney beans. So, for example, I don't eat kidney beans at all. I prefer to eat the oloyin beans or white beans.
I'm in shock. I didn't know there were all these kind of different beans. Me, I just thought beans was beans. I don't buy the beans. I put it.
You don't
Okay,
cook.
okay, that's
You know?
good. Zara the King.
I buy.
Okay, why would they give
Even
you?
if I don't cook it,
Zara the King is saying, I
Yes,
change the water of my
yeah,
beans
okay.
3 times while cooking before it's done. Is this okay? Now I don't have the bloating issue or purging issues ever since I started cooking my beans this way. Please, is it okay?
It's very good to soak it with hot water before cooking. But if you
while
have cooked that halfway and you're pouring away, you might be losing some nutrients. So what I advise is that you soak the beans before you're ready to cook, and then you throw it away. Now, the thing about bloating is that gas that makes one to bloat has a lot to do with the kind of bacteria that are available in the digestive system to digest beans. And this is because many people don't eat beans often. The ideal thing is to try to eat some small portion of beans every day. Try to include it in your... I
why
eat
do you
beans
save them?
every day.
Always eating beans.
Sometimes I peel the beans and cook with the rice so that I'm not struggling with the back to digest the back. And of course, every other day I eat meme. So I try to
Eat some kind of
beans somehow.
So with that, you don't get to fart.
I don't get to flat.
There's no problem farting. No, people are looking for
That fat is terrible. Well, it's not.
I beg you.
The beans fat is horrible.
It's not-
My
it's
elder
like
you
sister,
can
I
actually
remember
choke.
my elder sister when we were growing up, I used to cry and hate her for farting. But she had a surgery and we were waiting for 2 days for her to fast. And I regretted
a
every time
different
I
matter,
wanted her to fast. I beg. Oh no.
This is a breakfast. People
no,
are
that
eating
is
breakfast.
Talk about flatulating here.
Can I ask you this question?
Very last
please?
question.
Okay.
Very last question. So which one is the oyin beans? The small ones?
The oloyin
You know, there are
beans.
some very small ones.
No.
Then there's the fatter one.
No. Okay, just take the species of red beans. You see, some look a bit lighter red than the others that look deeper. And when you cook it, it's sweeter. That's the one that is called
lighter
olo.
red,
But there are even two
have to run
species
up,
of oloyin beans.
We have to run
so
up.
you need to find out the one you
Unfortunately, we don't have
really
any more
like
time.
and you're comfortable
Thank you very
with.
much for educating
Thank you
us
so
on
much.
beans. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
We had a great time. YK, ask other questions after
So
the
you
show.
never really talked about the health benefits of
Well,
beans.
maybe next time we'll bring you back. We talk about health benefits a lot on this show, so don't worry. We'll bring you back. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.